So I'm going to get started. So I love paper crafting. If you know me, you know I love paper crafting and origami. And there's wonderful things that Yasutomo carries that are right up my alley and hopefully up yours, because origami and paper crafting kind of go hand in hand. But now today we're going to do some origami, mixed media kind of. We're going to do some mixed media, and I have a really exciting technique I'm going to show you using rice paper. So today the feature is going to be our rice papers, which I'll just kind of put these little cuties away for now. And we're featuring rice paper. Now, rice paper is a very versatile, it's way more than what it's originally intended for. It's great for block printing, stamping, mixed media, jelly printing, which I'm going to show you today. It is fantastic as an origami paper because it's so strong and doesn't really have a grain, and it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic paper. So we have these more reasonably priced, sort of they're meant to have, you've got lots of sheets, 48 sheets per pad, and this is 12 by 18 inches, and this is a 9 by 12. And I'm just going to show you why I like both of these. One of them, the 6H is a thicker paper, and I'm just going to tear off a piece. 6H is smooth. Well, they're both like this, but smooth on one side and a little, you don't see this, but there's, if you touch it, you'll feel like the smoothness on one side and a texture on the other. There's a reason for that. When you're working on it, if you want to paint, gel print, brush, sumi ink, anything like that, you want to do this on the smooth side. The back side that's rough is really good for gluing or mounting. If you want to use nori paste to fuse your papers, it's really it holds a nice bond, and it feels, it's just great. It holds a very nice bond. So what I like about this paper, you can see it's sort of translucent. You can still see what's underneath. And I like that because if you want to trace an image, you can do that. But it's not so fragile. It's pretty, it's thick enough to really do some things with it. So I'm going to show you some things with that today. Also, the 6JM is a thinner sheet, and it's kind of like it's sort of a faux kozo. You can see it slightly, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it has a slightly off, it's like a creamy texture rather than a bright white. So the 6H is a bright white, and see how it's much more translucent, but this stuff is really strong, very strong paper. So here's the 6H. And the 6JM, they're just slightly different in color and different in weight, but they're both really fabulous for what I'm going to show you today, and just for a lot of things. So I'm just going to take a couple sheets out, and they're nice and ample size, and I like them I actually use this for gift wrap. So I'm going to show you kind of what I've been doing for the past few days. I've been really enjoying preparing for this demo because, get me a jelly plate and some paper and I'm happy camper. So I'm just going to put these away. So you notice that 6H and 6JM are going to be one of the giveaways with a Baren, this is a great for doing printmaking, and I'm going to show you in the jelly demo, and some Hake brush, a Hake brush. Now this is great for what I'll show this today too, but these are nice to have. But you're going to have that in one of the giveaways. I think we're giving away 2 things. So I'm going to do this in sequence. I'm going to do the origami first because it's cleaner. And then when I'll do the gel printing second because it's, of course, a little messier. But I want to show you this gorgeous array of papers. Now, here's what I did with some of my gel printed 6JM. I actually wrapped myself. This is one of my Christmas presents. That's going to go under the tree. And I also made a little angel, which I'm going to show you how to do today. I made this angel and I made it a gift tag. So, fun. You can just have a blast with making your own gift wrap. And I'm going to just kind of sort of go over that today. And I'll put my little gift down to the side for now. And I'm going to grab the papers. Now, these smaller ones are the 6H. They're, and I'm going to show you what I did with these. But I'll really show you when I get the gel print played out. Now, there's a really great artist out there who I admire, and I like her work. She uses 6H, our pad. She uses it a lot for her jelly printing or gel printing. And I like to say jelly printing because I use the Jelly Arts printing plate. So I always just kind of go back to saying jelly printing, but correctly it's gel printing. But Jelly Arts is the product I use. Now her name is Elizabeth Saint Hilaire, Hilaire. Check her out. Her videos are incredible. Her work is incredible. She did this the other day. It's a brand new video, and I flipped. I said, I've been doing something like this for a long time, but not with the gel prints. So I was so happy to be able to see her doing it with stencils and a gel print. But I had something similar years ago, but this is way better. So I'm going to show you that today. Now, just for simplicity, this was just a single-sided. You can see these were double-sided on this side, so I'll show you that. And just single-sided prints with your gel plates. It's fantastic. So I made some gift wraps / origami paper. I'll probably do some origami with these. This is the 6H, and it's such a beautiful surface for gel printing. It's 9x12, so it's perfectly sized for the 9x12 plates. And here's another one I did with using some gold paint. And I used a brayer for this, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. But these are my 6H papers. So that's a nice heavy stack of, I've got collage papers. I've cut these into 6-inch size so I'll be doing some origami with these in a little bit, actually. I'll be doing some origami. But I kind of use it for collage also, and I don't ever throw away my little cut pieces. Never throw them away, because look at that gorgeous, wow, just a little section of it. And what's great about it now is because of the smooth surface on one side and the rough is on the other, it's perfect for collage. So if you're a collage artist, this paper is fantastic for collage, because it glues really nice and flat, and it's just doesn't wrinkle and buckle that easily. It's amazing. You'll love it. So I'm guaranteed you'll love doing collage with these papers. So, and this one is another one where I did some gel printing in a little brayer. It's basically using my brayer, instead of rolling off the excess paint onto into a scrap paper, I actually rolled it onto the rice paper to create a new sheet of gift wrap. Here's one where I did the same thing. You'll see this is all just excess paint from jelly printing, excess from, whatever my mark making tools. I just roll it on and I create a new piece of paper. So basically I'm doing two things at once. I'm creating a print on my gel plate, and then I'm also rolling this paper to get a beautiful surface. And now I've got this gorgeous wrap. This one got a little busy, but I did this one. I wasn't sure about mixing the red and the blue, but I think it's kind of fun. It will be very holiday. I also used a credit card to create these I took some white paint and just, dipped it in the paint and made little marks, and also a little roll. I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, it was a plastic, whatever these are. It's a lid for a spray bottle. And I used that. I just dipped it in the paint and made my impressions. So that's how easy. And you can, if you want to have a gift wrapping session with, one day, just spread out all the paper and start rolling, and you can get a lot of coverage in a very short period of time. Now, this one I just did a little while ago. It's probably not even dry, but this one I rolled out my excess paper print, excess paint from my print, and then I used these little gel print, these little cute little small round gel plates, and I just stamped it into the paint and made the impression that it kind of looked like Christmas ornaments. And then I used my bubble wrap here. We got the bubble wrap here that I just did my thing in. And if you don't have a gel plate, you can just you can stamp your papers. So your 6H paper or 6JM, just makes a great gift wrap. It's a nice weight for small gifts, for very special gifts. So there you go. I wanted to show you that. Now I'm going to get to the origami now, since I sort of have a clean area. Remember the last time we all got together a couple weeks ago, I was showing that, but I promised I'd put a video up. Well, I didn't have time. It was a little hectic. It was pretty hectic the past couple weeks. So I'm going to zoom this in a little so you can see this a little better. Let me just grab, let me zoom it. So not only will you see it, but you'll see me folding it better. So I'm going to take this paper. Now, this is going to be some paper we're going to give away. This is our pack. I'm going to show you the pack that we're giving away today. And just give you a nice, before I destroy it, before I open the packages, here we go. We've got the 4251, which is 100 sheets, 20 colors. This is what I'm using to make the Santa Claus. So you'll have 10 sheets, I believe. Or anyway, you'll get lots of red and white and other solid colors. Then there's these. I love these, and I'm going to show you some other little models with this paper. This is our classic Yuzen paper. It is item number, I don't know where it is, item number 4307 and 4306. These papers have been around for as long as I've been around Yasutomo, which is a long time, over 30, well, about 30 years or so. This is a paper that feels like rice paper, and that's why I brought it out, because it has a texture. I'm going to open up a pack. Now that I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and I want you to see the colors and the patterns, and so many of these are so Christmassy. Look at that. I mean, Christmas colors, screaming Christmas colors, right? Look at that. So you've got these beautiful colors, and they have a texture, smooth on one side, textured on the other, very much like the rice paper. So it's got to be printed on some kind of rice paper. And then haven't asked after all these years, I've never asked them if that's what it is, but I'd like to. So maybe Phoebe, remind me, or you could ask someone, whoever we get this from, is this on rice paper? I'm just curious, because it does have that nice rice paper feel. Now, I use this paper to line envelopes for the holidays.
Yes, it is, Karen.
Fantastic, Phoebe. So I didn't mistake. Well, my guess was good then. So we have rice paper origami, which is pretty darn fantastic. We should put that in our description of our papers, because that's a very nice feature. Because this rice paper is going to be a lot more durable than just your standard papers. Now, this is like I said, 100 sheets, and the colors are nice and brilliant and beautiful. Item 4251. These, and I'm going to have a mess. You should see my table as I start throwing things around. You're going to get a nice assortment of colors here. See all these beautiful single-sided colors. Got beautiful, beautiful. But you've got these gorgeous reds, and I'm going to take my Santa. So I've got 20, let's see how many times, 10 times. I can make 10 Santas out of this pack. And this is a 6-inch paper size, or we even have larger of this assortment. So if you're into lots of folding or unit folding, if you want to make something like one of these, get a pack of this. This is like the best for unit folding, like stuff like that. So I want you to know we've got it all. We've got origami that, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So the next one is the KRAFT paper. Now that's another one, 4343. And you've got lots of paper in this. You get 50 sheets, 10 colors. Now these are a lot more subtle. So look at the difference between the red in this one and the red in that one. But they're very country, more like subtle, with the KRAFT side being the opposite side. And these I'll show you the colors. And I love them. They're very subtle. And this paper is gorgeous. It's a little thicker than the standard weight of the origami. So this is fantastic to do all kinds of different models with. So I'm going to put these papers in my little stash, and I'm going to fold that Santa, because I promised I would make a video. So now we're going to have one. So I'm going to put these papers for now, and I'm going to go ahead and start with my Santa. And I do need a cheat sheet today, so I don't do everything by memory. Sometimes I've got some things that I remember, like the crane and some other things, but I have to fold it a lot before I remember. So this one, we're going to start, if you have a red piece of paper, or just use a white piece of paper, and you can always color one side red, but that takes a little time. So I love doing this. So you want to start your fold with your white side up. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back a little, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you everything. There, that might be good enough. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fold corner to corner in both directions. So I'm just going to fold it to the corner, corner fold, open it up, and I'm going to turn it and fold it into another corner. And then I'm going to take it, open it up, and I'm going to fold the point, my uppermost point down to the center crease, right in that intersection. Just fold it right there and then make a crease. And I'm gonna use my nice little Yasutomo folding tool, which is another part of the giveaway. It's a bamboo folder. I love this thing. That would give me a nice sharp crease. And I notice I have some paint on it from earlier today. I was doing some scoring. If you get paint or anything on this, you can actually use what's it called? A sandpaper. There we go. You can wash this stuff because it's not like wood. It won't absorb the water like wood will. It is a very high quality, dense bamboo, and it's going to withstand a lot. And you can sand it, you can wash it, it's great. So you're gonna love that. So I've got this. I folded this down, and now I'm going to fold the white. I'm just going to fold this point up to the top, right where that little, this crease here needs to be lined up right there. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to make another fold to the crease I just made. We're just making a little hat band is what we're doing right now. And I'm going to open this up and make another little fold. It's a little fold. It's about 1/4 of an inch right here. You can see that right at the bottom. And now I'm just going to roll it all back up on itself. Just roll it back on the existing creases. Well, actually, you'll be making more than existing. I'm going to do one more time. So I started with 1 fold, 2, 3, and 4. That will finish my little Santa hat band right there. So I've got that part done. Now I'm going to take the bottom and I'm going to fold it up to this in the center, along that center, just folding that corner all the way up to that top. And I'm going to crease. And I'm going to fold this top layer all the way down to the bottom. Well, actually, I'll leave about 1/4 of an inch above the bottom. Now, if you notice, this is the face. This is going to be where the face is going to be. And I'm going to take it, turn it over. So now we've got our Santa part here. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take the sides, this side and this side, and make a little hem on both sides. The same width. That's about 1/4 of an inch fold on both sides on these raw edges. You'll feel that there's no folds on these edges. You want them to be the same exact size. So there we are. Now we've got our little hems. Now I'm going to take right where this fold, the center part is, I'm going to start my fold right up at the top. And I'm going to bring this whole edge, if I can get that. And I'm just going to bring it I'm going to use this part here, and I'm going to just bring this part here to that center crease, and I'm going to just crease it. Okay, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Bring this top edge, just fold that top edge to meet the edge you just folded, and then fold that down. So it should look like a little airplane now, sort of. And now I'm going to take my sides, and I'm going to start my fold right at where the corner meets here on this. I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to start that fold right there, and I'm going to line it up this edge along the bottom. So once I've lined that along the bottom like this, like so, I'm just going to crease it right here. Okay. And then the second part of this is I'm going to take this part that I just folded, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm just going to bring it kind of just to meet almost to the top. And I'm going to kind of turn it over to look at it to make sure, because this will be my sleeve. You see the little Santa sleeve, and it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice crease with my folding tool. And here I'm going to do the same. I'm going to fold what I just did. Sometimes I second guess myself. That's right. Now I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to just fold this part here, right? You can see where it needs to start to fold. And I want to line this side up. I want the side, this bottom edge, to line up down at the bottom, right here. Then I make that crease. So this lines up, this comes in like this. And now I'm going to take it and do the same. Just to symmetrically have those edges look the same, and then we'll give that Santa's sleeve symmetry. So now I'm going to turn it over, and he is finished. The only thing we need to do now, I always like to put a little glue, because I like to put some glue here if I'm going to hang him, and I put a little glue here, here, I'm not gonna do it right now, but that's what I do, to really hold it together. And then on the inside, I have this fun little hole punch. I'm gonna use some pure paper. This is our pure paper, and I can get a lot of noses out of this. And I'm gonna show you what I do. This is a little bit larger than the standard hole that you would get at the office supply. That's a 1/4 inch, and this is a little bigger, 3/8 of an inch. And it's perfect for little noses on all kinds of paper crafts. So I'm going to just punch that out. I'm going to find a little space here, punch it out, take it out. There's his nose right there. And I'm going to glue his nose right under his beard, because that's kind of how Santa's nose would be, right? So I'm going to just kind of center it right underneath. And
What
there
kind of glue is that, Karen?
This is Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear. It's actually, I live about 2 miles from the manufacturer. She's right here in Cottonwood, Arizona. And it is fantastic glue, and it has this little pointy tip. It dries and bonds really fast. I would recommend this highly. Now, I wouldn't order, if I were you, I don't know where they're from. I mean, I know where they're from. They're from Cottonwood, but when it's freezing outside, I guess it doesn't freeze well. So if it's been freezing lately, so order it from a place, a retailer that maybe is in your area, because it freezes, I guess, and it doesn't like being frozen when it's wet. But this is great stuff. You can get it off Amazon. You can go to Art Glitter Institute and order it, or however, other retailers probably, but it's fantastic. Watch how quickly this stuff bonds. It's really fast. And it's nice because I've got this little needle nose thing, and I always never have a clogged, it doesn't clog. As long as I close it quickly with that needle top, I'm good. So there, it's bonded, or pretty much bonded already. So the last step on this little adventure of the Santa is, that we do have, and I'm so excited to tell you, we now have pigmented Detail Master pigment liners. I'm so thrilled, but that was in our last demo, but I always want to bring them out because they are amazing. So they're just like, they're pigmented, so they're not going to bleed into the paper, and they're waterproof when dry. Not that I'm going to get him wet, but it's just nice to have a little marker on hand to make your little Santa eyes. Or if you want to make him happy with little smileys, or just do whatever, however you want. Now you can also cut, if you are in the mood to make a circle with some white to make a pom-pom. But I usually put some string. I put like a little silver string, and he becomes an ornament. But I think I've got some examples where I used him in something else. So there, now you have the instructions on how to make that Santa. So moving on.
And then Karen, for that little Santa, someone was asking if you could slip a gift card or just something in front of him where his beard is. Like, can you?
Yes, you can. Let me show you here. Here's a really bad, messed up hotel keep it. See how you can put a little gift card. If you did a bigger Santa, this is a 6-inch Santa. So let's say you have, and we do have whatever size that is. We do have a 7-inch, I believe, right, Phoebe? A 7-inch.
Paper?
Yeah, or 7.
I believe we have. Well, we have a variety. I'm looking.
Yeah, I believe that
we do have a set that's in 7 inches.
Yeah, I think that would fit.
Item number OS 801. If anyone's going to check that out.
Yeah, that's that one, and the 4251 or the 4252. One of those is bigger. So the 7-inch paper is going to work, and it will hold your gift card. Perfect, because this is close, or maybe 6.5. I mean, it's really close. Oh, I could squeeze it. See how I can, but I don't want to tear them. But yeah, you can almost get a gift card in that. So a little bit bigger, maybe even 6.5 inches square. And I know we have a 6 3/4 inch, Phoebe. I'm pretty sure it's
yeah, we do have a variety. It's
yeah,
we have 6 3/4 inch, 9 3/4 inch is our biggest one that we're gonna have right now, and we have some variety packs where it comes in an assortment of sizes. So
that's
yeah,
right.
maybe I could drop that in. I'll drop that into Inga's comment because she's the one who asked about it. Yeah,
So fantastic idea. Whoever asked for that, thank you for the idea. I love everyone here. I love the input, because you now have inspired me. How fun would this be to make a little string, hang it on your tree, and when your family comes over, little gift cards can be tucked in. Whoops, my pen just fell. But you get the idea. What a great idea to make a gift card holder out of this. Thank you for that. And I'm just like, I think it's a game changer. It makes it so much more fun. So I think the 6 3/4 would be perfect for that. Yep. And because it is a pocket, you can see it does have a pocket area, and the pocket goes all the way down to the bottom. So you could actually, your card pretty much will be halfway. It'd be cute because it'd cover up the Santa it'd be like this. And then when they take the card out, the Santa's face would be revealed. I think that's so cute. All right, let's move on to the next. I'm going to move on to the next model because it is the angel. This is paint. If you want to, we'll make sure we have plenty of time. But this one goes pretty fast. I'm going to go pretty fast on this one. But we'll have it in our on the video, so you can rewind it and watch it. So I need to find my blue paper, which I know I put somewhere. I'm so funny like this. I had cut it out ahead of time and stuck it somewhere, and now I don't know where I put it. That's typical. So it's somewhere. It's somewhere. So the angel, I'm going to have to do it out of 2 different pieces of paper. With the large paper. This is going to be large. And I'm going to do it, actually, let's do this. I'm going to do it out of the assortment pack, but I'm going to do blue. And I'll just grab 2 sheets of blue. So if you have a light blue would be prettier. Let me try the light blue. One of these blues. And the way they do this is they do a stack. So you have to go through the 10 sheets and find your second color. There it is. Okay. I want them to be the same color because it would look strange if they weren't the same color. So normally I would cut this to make a cute angel that's like one to hang on your tree. I would do it in a 3.5 to 4 inch paper. This is 6 inch. It's going to be a lot bigger, but at least you'll see the folds the way I do it. So this one I found on YouTube in the person. I don't remember who it is, but if you look up for Origami Angel, you'll find it. But here it is. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start with the color side up on the head. So we're doing 2 sheets. Color side up, you start and you fold corner to corner, just like you did your Santa. You open this, we do a corner to corner like this. Okay. And when we open it up, we're not going to open up, we're going to keep it closed. And I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to look, as if I'm going to fold it, starting my corner right here, a nice sharp corner right at the tip. And then I'm going to line it up at the top, and I'm not going to fold all the way through. I'm going to give it a stop right where that fold begins here, right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just starting my fold up at the top, right. I just need to line that up, this top edge. And once I've lined that up and I've got a nice sharp point that I really like, there it is, I've got it. I'm going to take my crease and I'm going to use my tool so that I don't go any farther. I'm going to stop right here, right where that crease is. Now, what you have is you'll have a fold that's a diagonal, like a little diagonal fold here with no extra creases going through. The next step is I'm going to pinch the fold that's already here. This is valley fold. I'm going to turn this into, whoops, it's a mountain. I'm turning it into a valley right here. And I'm going to just take it and pinch it together. And you can see is if I flatten this, this is going to stick up like a little fin. And you're going to take that and you're going to reinforce that, make sure that's laying flat, and then take your fin and just fold it over, fold it flat, and make sure it's lined up on the side before you crease. Mine is kind of wonky, but I'm going to just make it work. There we go. It's it's good as I can get it. Here we go. And then I'm going to take that fin and I'm going to fold it on the other side so that I have a nice crease right in the center here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that long edge of the fin, and I'm going to fold it to the center crease, just like this. And this is just creating some pre-creases. I'm opening it up now, opening the fin back up. Now it's a bent fin. And I'm going to just take my folding tool and insert it into that fin because it's too hard to get my fingers in there. And I'm going to take my tool and I'm just going to open that fin up so that it flattens right on top into a kite, almost like a kite shape. Okay, there it is. Okay. Then we've got it's getting there. We're going to turn it over. And now what we're going to do, and I'm going to grab my pen so that you can see, we'll just use the pen I have here. What we're going to do is we're going to fold. We're going to start a fold here. And we're going to not really fold it. We're just going to start it like we need to, actually, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. I was getting ahead of myself. We have this long edge. We're going to bring this long edge. We're not going to fold though. We're just going to find that edge like this. And no, I didn't do it right again. Give me a moment here. I'm just having a moment. There it is. Now I know. I'm doing it. Okay. My brain just got funny. All right. Sometimes it happens. All right. So now I'm going to make this like I'm folding it, but I'm not going to crease this. All I'm doing is I've created this. If you would want to crease this, but no, you're just going to make a little small crease right here. And I'm going to show you where that little mark is. So just going to give it a little tick, even though don't do that on yours, but at least you can see it. So what I did is I'm going to pull that up so you can see it closer. I didn't crease through, but I just made that mark. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to bring that paper up and I'm going to act as if I'm folding, but all I'm doing is I'm going to make that crease or that little dash, that little notch right there. And that's just a marker. So I can do the next thing. Now I'm ready to do the next thing. So I'm going to take this whole wing, and this is the wing, and I'm going to bring that fold down, and I'm going to put the edge of the wing right at that tick mark I just made. And that's why I made that mark. You can see I did that, and I'll do this on the other side. Bring that little wing down and just have it meet right where that tick mark starts. And then make your crease. So now what we've done is we've created the wings symmetrically and evenly. Trying to do this with an eyeball will not work. Your angel will look like it won't be able to fly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the next fold. It's going to start right here and end about right there. So I'm going to show you kind of the fold angle. It starts at the corner and it ends about right here. I'm going to just do this on this side, starting that fold and ending it right there. This one I do eyeball it. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Start that fold and end it. And just look where you did your other one. Kind of eyeball that. Keep your eye on it before you make that final crease and kind of make sure that these two sides are symmetrical. That's really important because otherwise your angel will be flying in circles. All right, there we go. So now that's pretty even. Last step for this part is just to fold these little corners. Just 10 little folds go back on this sharp edge, on this sharp edge. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just go ahead and fold those little tips back. And see, that's about 1/8 of an inch, maybe or so. And what that does, you could even fold it farther back. With a smaller paper, you'll fold less. Since this paper is a little big, I'm going to go ahead and look at that. And that's my face. That's the face of the angel. And that the top is done. Now let's do the bottom. It's much easier, very quick to do the bottom. So you'll see this is a pretty big angel, and she can stand or be on my mantle actually. So now I have going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to start my fold with the color side down, and I'm going to fold it corner to corner. And I'm going to open it up, fold it corner to corner in the other direction, keeping it closed. I'm going to fold the raw edges just along to meet the crease on the crease, that center crease. Same thing on this side. Just bring these edges to the center and have them match as best as possible, as good as possible. All right, now you've got this shape here. Turn it over and you'll see two flaps and a folded edge. Hold those two flaps up as high as you can, as far as you can, up on both sides. Just as far as you can to make that like flush as possible, that edge. You can see how I did that. Now what you'll do is you'll take it, turn it over, and you're going to basically collapse. You're going to open this flap, open this part, and you're going to not make any new creases now. I'm going to just push this inside. It's like a reverse fold. I'm not making new creases. I'm just reversing this crease only, and then I'm just going to fold it down, and that basically tucks in this part here. This also works as a stand. My ladies from Element 3 today when I was showing this, I glued that down, and one of our members, she actually figured out that if you don't glue this, this acts like a stand and it will stand upright. So that's really cool. So I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm just pushing this inside, and I'm not making any new creases. Find the creases that are already there and just kind of push that in until it collapses and folds in on itself. So now I've made the dress, and it's simple. I'm going to assemble this, and all I am going to do is I'm going to put a little glue right in here. I'm going to put some right up in the kind of up there, maybe in the back. I don't want to have any glue showing, but I'm just going to put enough to really secure the skirt into the top as far as it'll go. And I'm going to just make sure that it's lined up okay. And she's got her wings have got to be, there we go. Just kind of center it so that it looks like it's supposed to. And then I'm going to leave the bottom alone. I'm not going to glue anything, but usually what I like to do is I like to put some glue on the wings so they're just kind of, so they stay flat, at least on the top part. Just a tiny bit is all you need, really. Put a little bit right there and give it a, few seconds. Now I realize that my glue is clogging because I did leave the cap off. Now, when that happens, just take your cap needle. Now I'm 67, so my eyes are not as good. I need better bifocals. So there, I've got it to open up again. I love that. That's why I love this thing. I've had this glue in this bottle for about 2 years, and I haven't had any problems with it gluing or with it clogging or getting weird. But now I've left it. If you leave it off, then you could actually wash these and all that. So there it is. Now I'm going to see one more thing. I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just on the back of her dress here, or her wings. And I'm not going to go in that crease or in the skirt part. I don't plan to glue that together. And now she's ready. So she is now ready to fly, ready to be displayed. And there she is. Isn't she pretty? And that's just with a simple blue color. And with this little, now I've got a stand. So if I open that up a little, just a little, she can stand, I hope. If maybe I might have closed it up too much, but there is a way to stand her. Here we go, maybe like that. She'd be great on a tree. Perfect for the tree, right there. Just stick that on the tree. I've always wondered how to get a good tree topper. Now we've got one. And then she can stand. If I do it, no, not this one. I should have not glued this part. But you get the idea anyway. So there she is. And then if you wanted to add a little string to hang her, boom, you can just stick it right through on that. So there you go. You've got your angel. We've got that. Now, I'm going to move on to the jelly printing right now because it's time. It's 3:41. I just realized we've got to do this. Got to make quick work of this. So on the 6th, I'm going to show you this really cool technique. And I've got this sort of set up really quickly for you. I did some prep ahead of time, and I'm going to zoom this out. I'm going to zoom it to where you can see my whole table. There we are. Now I have my jelly plate. This is a 9x12 Jelly Arts jelly plate. And I'm going to show you the first layer that we did. But then I've already got dried ones, so you don't have to wait around for that. Okay. First layer, when you're doing this technique that Elizabeth showed, I'm going to go do this horizontal. So I've got a nice gel plate, and I'm going to use a dark color. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you want to make your extra paper, have a piece of 6H kind of close by. And I'm going to just kind of put it right next to right here. I'm just going to put it right under there so you can see it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to brayer off on that. And that's going to be how I do that. That's how I make my second piece. I'm going to just make that happen. I'm going to grab a piece of 6H because it's the paper I want to use. I've got a piece of 6H real close by. I'm going to grab a stencil. Now, stencil I plan to use. I got this. I love these stencils from Joggles. If you don't know who they are, joggles.com. Oh boy, you can get in trouble. Beautiful stencils. So I'm going to use one of these. I'm not sure which. I think I'll just use this one because I want to make some origami paper out of the rice paper. All right, so I got that ready to go. Now I'm going to use white, and I'll explain why. Because I did one. I made a sheet earlier, You won't see the print, but you're gonna see the effect that I'm gonna share with you that Elizabeth showed that's gonna blow your mind. At least it blew my mind. So I think it will blow yours too. So I'm gonna take some white acrylic paint and I'm gonna use my brayer. I'm gonna roll some white. Now this sounds weird, white on white, but wait till you see what I do with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll some on. Of course, the paint on this one isn't gonna show up on my paper because it's white. That's okay. You'll see kind of what I'm doing here. And I'm gonna lay
By
this.
the way, Karen, will
Yes.
any stencil work?
I'm sorry, what was that? Well, any stencil, yes, any
yeah.
stencil that you've got will work. So let me explain this process. I'm laying down the paper, I've laid down the stencil on a layer of paint. Now I'm going to put my smooth side of my rice paper, 6H paper, and you can see through it. And what's great is I feel like I've got to put my fingers into the grooves. You want to get that paint thoroughly into the grooves of your stencil. So wider stencils, with wider openings. If you have a real detailed stencil with tiny little openings, this will be a little more difficult. You can do it, but just take your fingers and kind of massage that paint into the rice paper and use your Baren if you want to really get a nice smooth, get all that paint off. This is how you do it. Use your Baren. A lot of people, I've done a couple.
Say what kind of paint was that again?
Just basic acrylic paint, Liquitex acrylic.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I'm just using acrylic, kind of heavy body. You can use fluids as well. I use a lot of, just titanium white. This is for this technique. I've got one that's dry already, so I won't bore you with waiting for it to dry because I know we don't have a lot of time. But I wanted you to see this because I was totally blown away that she was using our rice paper, Yasutomo's rice paper. She was talking about it, and she didn't know that she didn't talk about where to get it because, she wasn't trying to sell, but Yasutomo is the source of that paper, and I wanted to share that small technique of that. So if you see, I don't know if you see this, but the white, you see how the white is showing up on that? That has to dry. Of course, I have one that's already dry, but let me show you something that's really cool. Now I'm going to take the second. I've got this beautiful ghost print, or second print here, another sheet. So you're going to you can make all these prints with this. Now this one needs to stay on for a while, and I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to leave that on for probably 10 minutes. I'm just going to bring in another sheet. Once I leave this on for 10 minutes or more, all that paint's going to come off and it's going to make your plate clean. Some people use the rice paper. There's another artist that uses her rice paper for cleaning her plates, which I think is interesting. And then when you clean, you can use that rice paper for your projects, for your mixed media and anything you've got. So wanted to share that. I'm going to let that sit. I've got this on a glass plate. I can just put it away, put it aside, and I'm going to bring in one that's dry. And then let me show you this technique, which I think you're going to be blown away because I sure was. Now, I've got all these papers that are ready. In fact, you see how many I made. These are ready to do the technique. I probably will only have time to do a couple, but I want you to see it. So these are dry, completely dry prints. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm using a glass surface. Do not put your rice paper on your gel plate, even if it's clean, because what I'm going to do next will cause the paper to become more delicate, and you don't want to, you'll rip the paper and it'll stick to your gel plate. So take your gel plate out of the equation at this point when you're doing this. So let's take a piece of this, and I'm going to use this one that has some white on it. I'm turning it over. So I'm going to be working on the rough side of this. So this is kind of similar to what I just did. And here's what is so different about this. Now I'm going to grab a little piece of, just going to get myself some wax paper, and I've got my wash brush. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray the paper wet. Just make it wet, and it's going to lay nice and flat. Now at this point, the rice paper becomes more delicate when it's wet, so you don't want to play around. Put this on a lucite sheet. It's going to become more delicate, and it's going to stretch a little bit. So just kind of, let that paper, the fibers swell a little, because they do swell, and get that so that it's nice and flat. ready to go. More water is better. And I've totally saturated it on there. And now it's kind of like this really nice wet surface. I can see it's kind of shiny. You see that? And you can see the print really through there. Now, let me grab, since it's the holidays, what do I want to pick? I think I'm going to try this just because I love this Payne's gray. It's not a black, but it's very blue black. And I think it's so pretty. I'm going to put some of that in there. I'm going to put some in just a little bit. I probably put more than I should have. And I'm going to also use some heavy bodied blue because I like blue. Why not? Blue and white and kind of a Payne's gray. There, just a couple colors. Now, I don't want to brayer this. I've got this brush. I love, these are made of sheep hair and they're nice and soft and they're not going to tear the paper. And that's another thing I'd like to share with Elizabeth. She was using a bristle brush and being very careful, or whoever it was, Barbara from Joggles, the lady who makes these stencils, she was using a bristle brush, I think. But I use these because what it is, they're nice and soft, and they're not going to ruin they're not going to tear your paper, delicate paper, because at this point, this paper is kind of delicate. So I'm going very lightly. I'm making a painting on the back side, and I'm doing it with a thin amount of paper, paint. You could use watercolor if you want. If you don't want to use acrylics, you don't have to use acrylics. You could use just a watercolor and it would work. Like our watercolors, I think this would work fantastic, but it would take a lot of watercolor. So just kind of realize that you'll be using a lot of color. So I'm just basically putting this on gently because I'm gonna, I don't want to tear this paper. And I'm just going to put it on until I've covered the back. And you can just keep it. Yeah.
We got a question too. Will these
Yeah.
gel prints, and I think just meaning gel printing in general, work
Yeah.
with any other type of paper?
Of course, absolutely. Now, not this technique that I'm doing, but gel printing, you can print on newsprint. You can print on anything. This technique is only for rice paper, but you can use your gel print plate on every paper, typing paper, construction paper, anything. So yeah, it's usable on anything, but not this technique. You wouldn't be able to do this on any paper. So now that I've covered it as best I can, and you could mix it up and do more, you can even do specific areas. If you wanted, if you had an image that had not just a pattern on it, but you had an image that you really wanted to bring out just certain areas, you can do that too. Now I'm going to turn this over because I don't want to lift it. I'm going to turn it over because this will be what the paper will look like when it dries. Here is what it looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'll pick that up in a little while. Now there's a little thing from the wrinkle, and that will probably go away once I pick this up after a little while. But this is, so the white basically stayed and acted like a resist, and the color is more prominent on this side. So now when this dries, I can use this as a double-sided paper. So I'm going to try to right now lift this up. Now here, just to be careful, because it's glass, it's not going to tear. If it was on my gel plate, it would tear. It would be a big mess. So I'm going to just remove it from the glass and turn it over so you can see how gorgeous that is. And then I'll let it dry like that. And isn't that just stunning? I mean, isn't that a mind blower? At least for me, I'm totally excited. Now this, one more thing, because now you can do that with any color combinations, and I'll show you. I think I did show you some of those that, and I had planned to do. The reason I made these, and I'm going to grab a piece of paper, and we've got 6 minutes, or no, we've got 8 minutes. Okay, I'm going to grab a piece of paper that I already cut down to origami size, wherever you are. Somewhere in my mess here. If I could show you the camera, how it looks now, when it was so neat when I first. All right, this is the same idea. This is my paper that's been dry. So I made these just like I made the one that I just did. And I'm going to show you the reason why I love this is origami paper. It's just so gorgeous. So I'm going to grab my diagrams. Wherever they go. There they are. And I'm going to do a sandal box. You know what a sandal box? It's like the most used. It's a traditional box, and I think I want to do it out of this paper because it's so pretty. And I don't remember now if I think I start with the color side down or the dominant side down. And I'm going to blow this up because I want you to see how gorgeous this is gonna look. There we are. So I'm gonna start by folding it in half, and I'm gonna go a little quick because this is all over the place. It's everywhere. It's a traditional fold, and it's beautiful, especially with this. I'm gonna fold these corners to the center. So I just made the crisscross folds, and now I'm folding to the center. And you could, when this video is up there, you can rewind it and watch it being folded, or you can see it on many YouTube videos. I think these are done on YouTube quite a bit. It's called a Sanbo box or an offering box. It's a very traditional fold. I'm going to fold all corners to the center. And I cut this down into a 6-inch square out of that technique I showed you. I'm going to fold this backwards. It doesn't matter which side, I guess. I'm just going to fold it backwards like so. So that I have my little open places up here. And then I'm going to take the inside. I'm trying to remember how I did this now. Oh, it's been a while. Okay, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to just fold it, taking this point, I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to just fold it and flatten it down like so, like this. And this paper folds so nicely without tearing, and this is 6H. And I'm going to fold this one up, just kind of bring this up and fold it, make it flat, like so. I've got this, and I'm going to grab my little folding tool wherever I put you. I don't know where I put it. There it is. Right on there. And the next step, it's been a little while since I folded this, so I'm going to have to remember. Okay, next step is I'm going to take this and I'm going to open this little part up like this. And I'm just going to flatten this open like this right here. See, like so. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to take that little corner where it's like a little flap, open this up, and I'm going to just flatten this. Now, it's funny, I've done this a bunch of times, but it's so hard to remember by heart. There we are, got that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've got this piece like this, so it should look like this. Now I'll just take it and turn it like a book. You're just taking the flap and bringing it over from the right side to the left, and now I have this open area. Do the same, turn it over and do the same on this side. You can see should look like, oops, there it is. So basically what you want is you're going to do, you've got this open area here, and it looks like a tent basically. Now that it's like that, the next step is to take these little side edges and fold them into that center crease. And again, fold it to the center crease. So it looks like that. Turn it over and do the same on the opposite side. And the box is done, just about. It's really not a hard one to do. Now this is a 6-inch square, so I'm going to get a little small box, but it's perfect for a Christmas table or candy or anything. If you want to set your table with fun little things, I'm going to fold this down, this flap down, just all the way as far as it'll go. And look how gorgeous that paper is going to be. Oh, pattern is going to be so pretty. I'm going to fold this down like this. And now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to create the box. Now, the reason I like this double-sided paper so much, first of all, isn't that, it's so cute. These swirls are cute, but look at the inside. Instead of the white on the origami paper, you've got this gorgeous colored inside. And because it's acrylic paint, it's made this paper stronger. There is a way to make the legs narrow. You just cut this, and it's a little more involved, but I wanted to show you that. And then you could put like a little, you know what would really be good in this? A truffle. I want a chocolate truffle in this thing. Wouldn't that be a great dessert to put, you know, at a holiday dinner? And I love the way that the swirls on this worked out, and it just looks so pretty. So that is my demo